Hello, everybody, and welcome or welcome back to the second shelf. And yes, finally to another book haul. I thought that's a good way to get back into BookTube by doing a book haul and wearing the book haul blouse. But before we start, first I want to thank all of you who left a message thinking of me and my mom and all the well wishes, and it was really, really heartwarming. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. The situation is still, fragile. So I'll keep you updated if there is anything to update. But at the moment, we just have to wait and see and hope for the best. So buying books is kind of, a good distraction also from the cold sore. I had a bit of a fever, and I guess I'm a bit exhausted, maybe. So then, buying books is also a good distraction. Okay, I have 7 books as per usual, and the first one is SciFi. I bought Translation State by Anne Leckie, published last year. Anne Leckie is a sci-fi, sometimes fantasy author, even though The Raven Tower, her fantasy book that I read, I quite liked it, but it did not take off as you had maybe expected. But her Imperial Raj series, the Ancillary Justice Ancillary, I really enjoyed. She has a way of incorporating gender fluidity, but also the ship Ancillary is in fact a ship that takes on various forms. So I really like her as a sci-fi author. So this one is adjacent, so you could say, to the Imperial Raj, but it's not one of the series. So we have an issue with translation. Let's put it like that. It's here. It says there was somebody Kuven was created to be a Preska translator, and the Preska are an alien race. But then something happens, and you also have 2 other characters. One who is looking for his ancestry, an adopted man who is looking for his ancestry. So it's I expect the typical Anne Leckie multiple point of views sci-fi with hopefully a good story. The next one is a little project that I started. You all remember Jennifer Brooks and her passing in January, which was horrible at such a young age. And one of the last videos Jennifer made was about her quest to read books about unhinged women. And even though the We Love Jenny readathon that happened in February is, of course, over, I still want to, commemorate her and her reading choices. So I made a list of books that you could say are about unhinged women. And the first one I bought is The Woman Upstairs by Claire Messoud. Claire Messoud is an American author, and I have never read her, even though she is obviously quite successful and has published, I think, 10 novels or something. And this book is about Nora, a woman who describes herself as the woman upstairs, that good neighbor kind of woman, a bit bland, nothing special, but reliable, but not really living her life kind of woman. In the book, Nora is a school teacher. Even though she wanted to become an artist, she's still making art, kind of, sort of, in her spare time. And then she meets one of a new pupil, Reza, is 8 years old, and she meets his parents. And then the story takes off from there. And obviously, she gets quite unhinged, because I think this was on even Jennifer's list, or I might have picked it up from Lisa from the Unhinged Woman Book Club. But I'm really looking forward to, especially also because I'm always happy when I discover a, for me, new author, and Claire Massoud is definitely a, for me, new author. The book was published, by the way, 10 years ago, 2013. Then the next book is a book by a favorite author of mine, and I bought this for a buddy read with Kim from Middle of the Book March. We will read this towards the second half of, towards the end of March, second half of March, and that is Jess Kidd's latest book, The Night Shi. If you follow my channel, published last year, excuse me, if you follow my channel for any length of time, you know how much I adore Jess Kidd's work. I mean, The Hoarder, I think the American title is Mr. Flood's Last Resort or something. Things in Jars was fantastic. She is one of the few authors that I can stand magical realism kind of ghosts and stuff, because she is so hilarious with the theme. This one is more of partly historical fiction. It is set in 1628 and 1989, and the 1628 story is about a young girl who boards a ship, the Batavia, and then 1989 is about Gil, a boy mourning the death of his mother. And of course, these two stories will have something to do with each other. But that's basically all I know, because I bought the book and want to read it because it's Jess Kidd. So I'm really looking forward to picking this up together with Kim. And I will keep you, of course, I will keep you posted how that goes. But this is a real excitement for me, a new Jess Kidd. The next book is for the project that I talked about in my March plans video. The last video I uploaded, I think maybe 10 days ago or something. The buzz book thing, where I read a new release, a buzz book, and I make a review video. And the pick for March, as you know if you watch that video, is Kristen Hanna's new book, The Women, published beginning of February. In my video about the March plans, I said that this book was set in World War II, which is not true. That's just bullshit. It's set in the Vietnam War, and it is about nurses, women, who, do heroic things during the war. I told you already in the March plans video, even though I got the historical time frame wrong, but that I'm not picking up the buzz books on the basis of the story or the plot or the setting or anything, but just because it's a buzzed book and it's a new release. So I will, that my reading time is also limited, just as my upload or filming time is a bit limited due to my personal situation and the situation with my mom. And again, I really appreciate your understanding, but I will try to read this in March. It is quite large, though, so I'm not 100% sure that I will be able to, but I'm at least will do my best. And then the next one, I also talked about in my March plans video, because it's the book, the March pick for Karen's book club from Run Right Reads, her Run Right Reads book club, where she picks Caribbean authors or authors of Caribbean descent to read. And the March pick is Sadie Smith's debut novel, White Teeth, 20 years ago, and I've never read it. I read a couple of other, I told you that already, I read a couple of other Sadie Smith books. Didn't quite work for me, but this one a lot of people who have similar reading taste, as I do, really loved. So maybe this will work. And I want to read it anyway because it is Karen's pick for March. And Sadie Smith, her mom is Jamaican, and the father is white British, I think, or the other way around. But at least one of her parents comes from Jamaica. That's why her books, or this book, has been included in Karen's book club. Then there is also March Mystery Madness, of course, going on in March. Not that I'm hugely participating, but I'm currently reading a mystery together with Heidi, one of the Linley mysteries, and I will pick up another one also towards the end of March, a buddy read with Terri from Miss Terri Talks Books, and that is P.D. James. Oh, it's a bit of a glare. A mind to murder. Well, it's a glare. Published in 1963, and this is P.D. James's second book in the Adam Dalglish series. You might remember, if you're watching my videos, that I read the first one together with Terri, and it was not at all what I expected, because it was extremely cozy in a way. And Dalglish didn't even play such a prominent role in the book. It was much more about this aristocratic family where a murder happened. So I and also Terri, we were both interested, not maybe to read the whole series, but at least the second book, to see how P.D. James developed this character, Adam Dalglish, who is a detective and also a poet. So this one will be read last week of March and maybe going into April, or for sure going into April. So, and then the last book I picked up is a book that I have already read on script, and I really liked it, and so I found a used copy and bought it, and that is nonfiction. Laura Thompson, Take 6 Girls, The Lives of the Mitford Sisters, published, oh dear, I was doing so well, 2015, so not yet 10 years old. Well, the Mitford sisters, of course, famous or infamous sisters, Nancy, Pamela, Diana, Unity, Jessica, and Deborah. Two of them became, it's in the first half of the 20th century, British, English, and well-to-do sisters, as you can probably tell from the picture. One of them became a communist. Two of them became Nazis. It's a really fascinating family story. I mean, from these 6 sisters. So yeah, I will talk about the book more in more detail in my recent reads that I will hopefully can upload next Sunday. But I really enjoyed the book, and that's why I bought a used copy of it to have on my bookshelf and maybe even reread. Anyway, this was my March book haul. 7 books, as always. Thank you very much for watching, and for being patient with me with my upload schedule and everything. I hope you've enjoyed the haul. Let me know whether you read any of the books or are excited for me to read any of the books. As always, I'm looking forward to your comments, and what I did before I filmed the video, I actually answered the comments from the last 2 or 3 weeks since my mom had to go to hospital, so I hadn't answered any comments, and I thought, I'm not filming a video before I haven't answered at least your lovely comments. So leave a comment if you're so inclined, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.